Oops. Good evening, everyone. Time to spend just a few minutes or as much as you're willing to with your camera on, saying hello to each other, experiencing the medicine of togetherness. Feel free to say where you're calling in from as well, as always.
From Pacifica.
Hey, Pacifica.
Madison from San Francisco.
Hey, Madison.
Hi, Howie.
Charlie and Liz from Berkeley,
Hey, Charlie.
or Elsa.
Elsa.
Jill from Regina.
Hello, Regina.
And Kay
Jill.
from Mission, the Mission.
Victoria. I'm Joe. I'm up in Garberville.
Welcome, Joe.
Catherine in San Francisco.
Mark from San Francisco too.
Hey, Mark. Hey,
Donna from Saskatoon.
Linda from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon, Regina. Wonderful to see you.
Big love from Nashville.
Wow.
Big love himself.
And I'm Diana from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Welcome, Diana. I'll be
Marco
coming there in
from-
September to teach a retreat.
Really? Oh, great. Oh, that sounds good.
Anyway, happy to see all of you.
John, San Antonio.
Hey, John, welcome. I miss my trips to San Antonio. Hope the Sangha community is practicing together in some form. Anyway, here we are, all of us in our own, on one hand, our own little bubbles, but also having so much shared heartache and challenges of being human. And this is a time for us to welcome all parts of ourselves, all of our reactions, all of our ruminations, to welcome it all into the welcoming field of awareness, as though each part of you, everything in you that shows up this evening is being welcomed by the Buddha. Buddha in you, that in you that knows, is that in you which accepts. So to bring a real merciful, accepting, loving awareness to your experience tonight. And one of the best places to start this welcoming attention is to welcome your sitting body, welcoming your sitting body into a position that is relatively comfortable, that you let go of all of your excessive idealism about how you should sit. And while we're at it, let go of your excessive idealism about how wise you should be or how quiet your mind should be. And just receive, first and foremost, this sitting body that registers all that enters our senses, everything that goes through our system. It has a physical corollary. And so our bodies are moved by the waves of circumstances and the waves of our mind. So our body needs a place to feel relaxed and safe. And that safety most naturally comes within the light and welcoming quality of your own awareness. And I suppose you could welcome as well this ever-present wakefulness and clarity that is your natural state, just being aware. Welcome that. I'm aware. There is awareness here. Letting the eyes close softly, and let the body again be welcomed in awareness. And naturally and quite quickly, the idea of the body will give way to the direct experience of it, the felt sense of it, sensations of it. It's receiving that elemental experience of earth, and heaviness and hardness. Just weight. The air, the vibration, wind, pulsing, vibrating. The fire, the temperature, cool or warm. The water, the sense of moisture or cohesion, the sense of all these elements being held together by the water element. Just feeling these elements without the idea of them, just the felt sense. Noticing how the body received in a welcoming field of awareness quite naturally begins to settle, not move so much. And as your body stops moving, notice the way, and sometimes gradually, your thinking mind begins to follow, and it begins to settle and quiet into the openness of your practice. And as you experience this welcoming, loving awareness, the past fades into the realm of memory, and the future remains in the realm of the unborn, and you're just here. Everything that you experience, all the fruits of all your actions, all the fruits of everything you've taken into your system, it all lives here. And it's all welcomed home into this vital point of aware presence. As the body and mind start living a little more in the same location, there's a settling, and much more accessible to us is the spirit or the nature of breath. That breath that lives inside of you and lives inside of me, that binds us, this shared experience of being sentient beings. We connect with that. We feel all together how life is breathing us, spirit is breathing us. We see that breath is not an egoic experience, it's just nature. The body breathes according to its needs. Sometimes short, sometimes long, sometimes rough, sometimes smooth, deep or shallow. You simply experience the body's breath wherever it feels most clear. We let this welcoming awareness use the breath as a support to staying here, present, as a support to emptying our mind of its usual preoccupations. Consequently, filling us with the immediate and direct experience of life, right where it touches us. Just this moment, just this awareness, just this breath, just this body. No higher mountain to climb than this experience of welcoming this moment, this breath. And then ultimately welcoming any presently arising experience, sounds, other sensations, moods, thoughts, images, attitudes, whatever arises unbidden in awareness, we welcome it. We notice its changing condition. And in that way, we realize the truth of the Dharma, that everything changes, that everything is happening of itself. And that clinging to these changing conditions brings stress. Condemning these changing conditions brings stress. And slowly, slowly, we let go. A little bit, then a lot, into the openness of our meditation. Just this. Soft, tender attention. But alert, curious. Just this. One moment. If your heart is sad, just make space for sad. Your mind is agitated, just know this is agitation. How does it feel? The art of meditation is the art of making space for whatever is present. If your mind continually drifts into fantasy, each moment you notice it, appreciate that moment of mindfulness re-arising. No judgments, just the way the mind is. No added stress. Just the non-contentious, welcoming awareness of things just the way they are, just as they've come to be. can't turn it on. If your mind is sinking into dullness, it just means that you have more tranquility than energy. So you might want to rouse a little energy, refresh yourself with full acceptance of the state of mind. Of course, if you're straining or struggling, also welcome that experience. It's likely that there's some strain to make something happen or resistance. Just notice that. And feel free to very mindfully refresh yourself and begin again, remembering, as always, that every moment is a new beginning. You can always begin again. This moment is open and fresh, a field of creative possibility. Plant the seed of attention and kindness, and remain undistracted as long as it lasts. Kind and interested and relaxed awareness. Just this moment. as always, a great treat to sit with you and especially to open my eyes and see your faces. Just be reminded again, in spite of the seclusion of having been my own little world in a way, in spite of that, feeling very much part of something larger than myself. So I'm really happy to see all of you. I had a first during that sitting, which was I opened my eyes in the middle of it and I was back on the sign-on screen for the computer and everything was gone. And I don't know whether that was something on the other end, but I definitely had a quickened pulse, had a, I guess you could call it a moment of panic or just wondering. And just reminded me of stuff happens and we can have all kinds of different reactions. And I don't know anybody that's not having a lot of heartache, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of challenging reactions, just horror and just so many different anxiety, fear, everything about all that could happen. It's all part of our humanity and just equally divine, equally as mysterious and divine as the simple reality of being aware. It's all equal. And ideally, we, just as I shared during the sitting, we just cultivate that merciful, kind, welcoming awareness to whatever it is that shows up. That the excess mental suffering that comes is really through, and even that has to be welcomed, to be liberated, but it really, what exacerbates our strain is, and suffering is somehow thinking it should be otherwise, thinking our mind should be otherwise. Talked about the excessive idealism of having a mind that's quiet. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's not. Having a heart that's open all the time. Sometimes it's open. Sometimes it's not. Being able to have compassion for the perpetrators of suffering. Sometimes that's possible. Sometimes, I have different kinds of fantasies about the perpetrators of suffering. It's human. And that humanity that includes joys, sorrows, wholesome states, and unwholesome states is just part of the show. That's why I was really inspired tonight, just in the beginning of the sitting. I didn't realize it until I started the sitting, but I was really inspired to have the theme of love, of welcoming. We talk about cultivating loving kindness and the Buddha's teaching on this is what should be done by those who are skilled in goodness and know a path of peace, just be spreading love in all directions. But the tendency is to not be so loving in relationship to our own mind and body, our own habits. And as I mentioned, I think last week I was on a theme for a few weeks of the harm that we cause ourselves when we get caught up in the hindrances. How we talk about hindrances, they hinder a tranquil mind or hinder concentration, but they're actually really harmful when we get caught in a what I referred to last week as the counterfeit coins from that Hafez poem. The view that we have to have something to be happy. And that view essentially tells our system that we are lacking. It tells our system that we mistakenly believes that something will make us happier than we are fundamentally. And the tendency is to then leave ourselves, which is harmful. And the aversive mind that gets so intoxicated with finding the blame and anger. And of course, it's human to feel anger right now. We think of the perpetrators in this world, just the horror of all of that. But making a practice, just letting anger go unchecked in a way. Of course, it's welcomed as part of the stream of our consciousness, but to let it go unchecked is an attack on ourselves. It's to say, I can't be well until the world is made in my image, which is not. And worry, we worry out of love for ourselves. We want to be happy, but worry actually attacks ourselves. It makes us unhappy. We harm ourselves. So if we really want to cultivate love, loving kindness, we welcome these hindrances so that we see them clearly, so that they get transformed by our attention into wisdom. And if nothing more, into the compassion, self-compassion for how much we harm ourselves. If we really want to cultivate love, we also need to be practicing wisdom, practicing wakefulness, even the dullness, even sloth and torpor, that hindrance, that very innocent, what's sometimes called the poor person's nirvana, sleep, that dulling up, the shrouding of our consciousness by checking out. It actually causes us harm because it's bearing witness. It's turning toward our own experience, turning toward the experience of the world. That's what really keeps our heart fresh and tender, not dulling out. It's not saying that you need to be constantly assaulting your senses. It's a middle way. But try to stay awake. And then the harm that we cause ourselves through believing this self-talk of lack, the doubt, the skeptical doubt, especially the doubt about ourselves, we cause ourselves harm. So we need to really put a light on any cause of harm, and that's one way that we practice loving kindness. Wow, I didn't expect to go off on that, but maybe we'll take a pause. We'll digest the commitment to loving kindness. I'll go on about that a little bit more about that later, but meantime, maybe we'll take a few questions. Let's just make it up as we go along. Take some questions, preferably about what you're experiencing in your practice, in your life practice, anything about the teachings, hopefully not too theoretical. And remembering that you're part of our practice, one of the pillars of the Dharma, generosity, is the generosity of being willing to confess our delusions, that your question or comment will likely be of some support to someone else. So that's one of the ways we practice Dharma. So any comments, questions? Misha, reliable Misha, thanks for breaking the ice.
Absolutely, Howie. Thank you. Well, it was very interesting to me that you continued with this theme, and particularly talking about the self-doubt, because I realized that that's part of what the early part of the sit was for me, because I was thought I was welcoming and allowing what is, but of course it was the counterfeit, right? Until finally, then there really was true allowance. And then very shortly, it self-liberated. And it has happened for me when that occurs in the sit, when it's like it just starts dissolving away. Then sometimes, like tonight, there comes this feeling of disappointment. Oh man, I was finally prepared to actually be with this, and now it went away.
Very funny.
Oh, yeah. And then the mind, after a period of, more silence and ease, then the mind started up again. And, there's this fear. And I realized that part of it is this critical self-doubt that somehow the fear and then the aversion that comes from the fear and the wanting to get away from that there's something in there like a doubt that I could be with that and that could be helpful, in the face of practice evidence to the contrary. So thank you for going off on the direction you went. It was very salient to what happened during the sit for me. Thank you.
Just remember, if something goes away, that's not just, to be with something is only to be with something to the extent that we see its nature, not to find some kind of meaning or for anything to happen. And if something as you call it, self-liberates, passes away, that's its nature. That's actually insight into how things go. And it's usually the attempt to keep things around and explore and investigate that it actually in some ways gets in the way of just the flow of changing conditions. Actually sometimes blocks the natural liberation of all experiences. So if it goes away, say, thank you. As my teacher Punjaji used to say, accept what comes, reject what goes, as though you planned it to go. Anyway, thank you. Catherine, please.
Yeah. I have been feeling, and I don't know if it's through settling into practice for a longer time and maybe maturing. I don't know, but I've been feeling like fewer edges than I used to feel. And some of that feels like a little bit of a loss. Like I don't experience really extreme mood swings. I feel
you've lost your edge.
Or something. I just don't feel inclined to want to be dramatic or engage in other people's drama, but there's also all this incredible horror and drama going on in the world right now, and I feel anguish and compassion, but I also have a hard time staying there. My husband's father is in the process of dying, and I feel deeply about it, and I also feel at peace with that. And I guess I don't know. Part of me is worried that I'm just not somehow accessing a deeper layer of emotion, like a deeper current of emotion that I used to feel. So
well, it sounds like there's something going on with the computer.
Yeah, I think that it's a computer fan. I'm gonna mute.
It sounds like equanimity to me, and I think equanimity is really needed in this world right now. The examples of hearts that are a little bit less edgy, less settled, less stirred up, because the stirred up, unfortunately, is not very soothing, and our hearts are are tender. We're tender and we need soothing. And so if you are feeling soft around the edges, that has a transmission quality, and that's a gift to anybody that lives around you. Notice the effect of being around somebody that's got a lot of edge over a sustained period, and notice the effect of being around somebody who's a little soft around the edges. It's so much easier. There's less, I don't have to work as much to be around you. So it's a real gift. You give other people the gift of being able to relax. I don't want to be too, glorifying it, because sometimes we're soft on the edges, and sometimes we have edges. But I think there is a trajectory of practice that we become less reactive, naturally softer, more tolerant, more equanimity, more see the humor in things. Even things that are incredibly painful. It's all kind of a lila, dance. Lila means a play of life. It's stop taking it as personally, stop taking it as seriously. It's dreamlike. Anyway, sounds healthy to me. But I think it's great to just explore that. And in general, when there's doubt or worry, just see doubt as doubt. It's just, another, most often it's nonsensical thinking. And it doesn't refer to anyone. It's just a thought. Anyway, thank you. Gudars, please.
Hello, Howie. Good evening. Howie, something you said resonated with me, and that was I haven't been practicing consistently as I used to. I've been distracted. And then, life circumstances and upheavals are kind of coming, and then those cause stress and anxiety. And then in my mind, I kind of go through this cycle of, kind of this self-blame, or that if you had practiced more, you would have been more balanced, and then that's a vicious cycle of its own. Then
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yes. Then how this craving for how things should be in my practice or not, or but I just and that causes a whole cycle of stress, which is to me is interesting. That just that desire for being more disciplined and all that, and then blame and all that. And I just when you said that, it just had I said, oh, that's what's happening.
It's wonderful that you notice it, but hopefully there's something in this conversation helps us incline toward accepting both our good discipline and our not so good discipline, accepting our wholesome states and our unwholesome states. Really just inclining, not in doing it all right, but just in being kind and merciful. We just need unconditional compassion right now in the face of being human. It's hard being human.
Yes.
So idealism is beautiful, but excessive idealism is actually self-harming.
Yes.
So anyway,
thank you.
Thanks for speaking up, and always happy to see you. Any last ones before we have a short break? Please, Carlton. It's so interesting that your picture showed up without your yellow hand.
I think it might be easier being feline if you've got good staff.
It's easier being feline.
Yes, this guy is a wonderful co-meditator and quite a teacher on how to relax.
Great. get the feline transmission of peace.
It's he's very helpful in regulating mood, and he'll just settle in when you're upset, and he has that unconditional love that is quite a gift.
Yes, may we all cultivate feline consciousness. Thank you. Okay, Catherine, I think I'm going to give it to you right now for any announcements, and then we'll take a 2-minute bio break, Donna break, but Catherine will speak first.
Okay. There aren't really any upcoming events on the calendar at this point. Is that right, Howie?
No, April 30th.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing my voice twice.
Sorry, April 30th.
April 30th, half-day retreat.
Okay. So we'll be sending out information about that in the newsletter.
In a
Sorry,
short while.
I didn't see that in the weekly email. And if you feel able to give dana, which is the way the Buddhist teachings have been kept free to all for over 2,500 years. I put a number of different ways you can support Howie and Mission Dharma in the chat. You can do Venmo or PayPal, or write a check, or if you're from Canada, you can do Interac e-transfer. And if you have any questions, please feel free to just send me a message. Donna is entirely optional, but it's a beautiful way to give from your heart and to support the teacher and the teachings. So thank you.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you all in advance for any generosity. Let's just take a couple minutes, pause to stretch, to do a bio break, to offer Donna if you like, anytime. And I will begin again at, let's say, at about 11 minutes after the hour. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around. Just to finish the theme of, we'll call it self-love, that turning toward ourselves in kindness and relating to ourselves, practicing that which nurtures us rather than harms us, and the importance in our practice of not harming ourselves through unrealistic expectations about what should be in our mind and judgments about what it is that's presenting itself in our minds and our bodies. I think to finish that off, I will read again the beautiful poem by Pesha, Joyce, Gertler. I forgot the title of it, but here it is. Finally, on my way to yes, I bump into all the places where I said no to my life. All the untended wounds, the red and purple scars, those hieroglyphs of pain carved into my skin, my bones, those coded messages that send me down the wrong street again and again, where I find them. The old wounds, the old misdirections, and I lift them one by one close to my heart, and I say, holy, holy. So not only do we want to invite everything, the wholesome and the unwholesome, the pleasant and the unpleasant, not only is that in itself an act of loving kindness, but it's also a cause and condition for equanimity. For the full flowering of loving kindness, which is an impartiality, an openness to the whole range of both internal experience and external experience. I got the feeling from Catherine of more openness and that quality of equanimity, and kind of non-contentious attitude. So we want to provide that for ourselves. Remember that the Buddha said you could scan the world in all directions and not find anyone more deserving of loving kindness than oneself. But the only way that we can know that we are not loving ourselves is to actually pay attention to what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're doing, what we're not doing, not saying, not thinking. Just to pay attention. So clearly it is a very loving thing to cultivate the conditions that lead to insight into our nature, insight into suffering, insight into what causes it, and then through our kindness, through our attention, removing the cause. So that we don't add to an already suffering world, we don't add extra mental suffering. Seems like a loving thing to do. Seems like the wise thing to do is to be loving. And one of the most loving things to do is to be wise. Is to live with clear perception. To, as I think I'm repeating again from last week, where do we fall into misperception? And the Buddha described 3 misperceptions that cause us to be not so loving to ourselves and to others. 3 misperceptions. Taking what's impermanent to be permanent. So then clinging to the impermanent. And that's the second one, clinging to what is impermanent creates stress, creates suffering. So everything is marked. What is unreliable as a source, as a constant source of pleasure, shouldn't be clung to. And then the misperception of what's coming and going in our lives is out of our control. It's not me, it's not mine, it's not your fault. You are not your fault. That we are all heirs of conditioning. So one of the most loving things we can do is to clarify our perception so that we're not living in confusion about the way things are. And really, as an antidote for so much cruelty, so much horror in this world, so much hatred, so much attachment to views, opinions, so much greed for power, just the cultivation of a loving heart, in not just internally but externally. I was rummaging through my readings today and came across a teaching from the Buddha it's what's called, from a sutta called the Samyutta Nikaya, from the basket of suttas called the Samyutta Nikaya. And the essence was, therefore, Buddha said, you should train yourselves thus. We will develop and cultivate liberation of mind by love. Make it our vehicle. Make it our basis. Stabilize it. Steady and consolidate it. Exercise ourselves in it and fully perfect it. Thus should you train yourselves in love. And this theme of liberating our heart through love, we find it in political movements, in the commitment, in the teachings and the commitment to nonviolence. I don't know how many of you, I know I've read this in the past, but the words of James Lawson from the SNCC Constitution, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, this is from, I think it's from 1960. The teachings or the commitment within SNCC was, we affirm the philosophical or religious ideal of nonviolence as the foundation of our purpose, the manner of our action. Nonviolence, as it grows from our traditions, seeks a social order of justice permeated by love. Through nonviolence, courage displaces fear. Love transforms hate. Acceptance dissipates prejudice. Peace dominates war. Faith reconciles doubt. Mutual regard cancels enmity. Justice overthrows injustice. The redemptive community supersedes systems of gross social immorality. Love is the central motif of nonviolence. Such love goes to the extreme. It remains loving and forgiving even in the midst of hostility. Wow, it sounds such a huge contrast to what we see in the world right now. And as a commitment, too much gets resolved with hostility and hatred. So we want to, in every which way, in our commitment to each other, commitment to ourselves. And I was thinking also today about the importance as a defiant act of love is to have joy in our lives, to have liberation. momentary liberation of. And the reason I'm saying this, momentary liberation, I was having a meeting today, and the person I was meeting with was really, really stirred up from a day of work. You know, we all, people in their work lives, people pulling, people, just so many hoops to jump through, so many fires to put out, so many challenges, just dealing with humans. The person was so stirred up. And of course, part of the processing it was to talk about it. And that has its own loving effect of somebody bearing witness. And that's what we're all doing right now, is we're bearing witness. Even if we want to hide away in fear and dullness, we're bearing witness to what's going on in the world. There's a power in it. But with another person, to just be present. But what was even more, was better than any kind of meeting that person could have with me, in this case, just being witness, was that person just stopping for a few moments. Just stopping and taking a weather report. First, feeling the sitting body, then sensing the breath, not unlike what we did during the sitting tonight, but then taking a weather report. What was the state? What's the state of the mind right now? What's the state of the body? And just that stopping, just that kind attention, just that bearing witness, taking it in. As I mentioned, as I talked about last night, that the quality of attention is peace, and whatever peace lights itself on becomes pacified. And so that moment, the moment of just meeting our experience, that's Pesha, Joyce, Gertler. It's called The Healing Time, that poem I read, where we just say yes to what's there. The dust settles. There's liberation, and there's a joy in that. There's relief. Another act of love, but take in joy. And when I was thinking about this, taking in the joy and the simple moments, and this is all from reflections earlier today, and I actually grabbed a few readings. I thought of the poem that I've often read here, called A Brief for the Defense, that I think is especially relevant right now in our world. It's from, his name is Jack Gilbert. And I thought I would read it to you. Sorrow everywhere, slaughter everywhere. If babies are not starving someplace, they're starving somewhere else, with flies in their nostrils. But we enjoy our lives, because that's what life wants. Otherwise, the mornings before summer dawn would not be made so fine. The Bengal tiger would not be fashioned so miraculously well. The poor women at the fountain are laughing together between the suffering they have known and the awfulness in their future, smiling and laughing while somebody in the village is very sick. There is laughter every day in the terrible streets of Calcutta and Kiev and Lviv and Mariupol. And the women laugh in the cages of Bombay. If we deny our happiness, resist our satisfaction, we lessen the importance of their deprivation. We must risk delight. We can do without pleasure, but not delight, not enjoyment. We must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in the ruthless furnace of the world. To make injustice the only measure of our attention is to praise the demon. If the locomotive of life runs us down, of the Lord runs us down, we should give thanks that the end had magnitude. We must admit that there will be music despite everything. We stand at the prow again of a small ship anchored late at night in the tiny port, looking over to the sleeping island. The waterfront is 3 shuttered cafes, 1 naked light burning. To hear the faint sound of oars in the silence as a rowboat comes slowly out and then goes back is truly worth all the years of sorrow that are to come. To not miss the delight. And last but not least, from Mary Oliver, her poem entitled, Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. And it may be an odd time to talk about joy, but I think we really must right now risk delight and not have war and the awfulness of things be our only attention. It's like balancing the scales. So may we all grow in love. May we all grow in compassion for ourselves, for this world. May we all grow in joy and equanimity, able to meet the joys and the sorrows with a little less edge. And get used to that so much that it becomes ordinary, and then finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. And may we all be liberated moment by moment, any moment, free of greed, free of hatred, free of ignorance, any moment of just attending to ourselves. Anyway, thanks for your attention. May our practice and may any of the blessings, any of the goodness, any of the fruits, any of the merit, all those good things that come when we practice together, may it be just thrown in all directions with so much love and so much wish that all beings can have happiness and the causes of happiness growing, that all beings can be more free of suffering and the causes of suffering. Have those diminish. And may all beings recognize that natural liberation, natural wakefulness, never be separated from it to the extent possible. And may all beings grow in equanimity. Let me find my gong so that we can put an official end to this. I think we'll just have to go gong and thank you, whoever that was. Thank you. And please feel free to say goodnight to each other and